All right, hi guys. So in this video, we are going to cover another important topic, that is delegation or delegation control of any user. Okay. Uh, First, we need to understand what is delegation. That it is giving some specific rights to any user to perform on the administrative level, right? So we open any server of the machines, either a DC or ADC. Let's work on DC. We click on server. We open the server manager window. That is the window. This is open. We go on tools. Click on Active Directory users and computers. Let me just maximize it, and let me just increase the size. Okay. In this, we need to go into we need to right click onto users, and we need to click on delegate control. Okay. Before doing this, first, for reference, let me just create a new user. I right click on this, I go on to new, and I click on user. Let's say, suppose that I put first name, say suppose Pratyush. I go into next, I put the full name, and I enter the login name as the name that I have written. Okay. So over here I set a password that I would remember easily. Okay. And I uncheck this box and I check these two boxes. Now I click on next and I click on finish. As you can see, the user has been created. Now we right click on this users and we click on delegate control. Okay. Now this is the wizard that we get. This is dialog box that appears. We need to click next, and we need to, over here we need to add the user that we want to delegate the control to. So we click on add, we search the names for the user that we want to give this delegation control. So I click on Pratyush, I write Pratyush and click on check names. Now this Pratyush at the rate cg.com appears. So this means that this user is present on this domain. So it is verified. Now I click on OK and I click on next. Now over here I need to assign the task that I want. Say suppose that I want to assign the task only for creating and managing the groups. So I click on create, delete and manage groups, and I click on next. We can select multiple options according to our wish and according to our needs. But right now, for example, for the sake of reference, I'm just taking this create, delete and manage groups. Click on next. I click on finish. So that is done. We have assigned the delegation control to this user, and now the important task happens. Okay. So first we need to check that we are logged in as administrator. Okay, this is verified. Now we go into tools. Now we close this window. Now we again go into tools. Now follow the steps very closely, because this is going to get a little bit of complex. We need to dig very deep inside the GUI. So we click on tools. We go into group policy management. We now click on domains. We open this forestcg.com and we go into domains. Now we again expand cg.com, and now we click on domain controllers. We extend domain controllers, and we right click over this default domain control policy and click on edit. Okay. So now this is the window that we get. Now we click on computer configuration. We go into policies. We go into Windows setting, and then we go into security settings. Okay. So you are following with me. I'm going to repeat the steps. Okay. Don't worry. So what we did was, first we had created the user. As you saw, we created the user and we delegated the control. But in order to make that user enable to log in on this server machine, we need to assign the uh, security policies. We need to update the security policies. So we go into tools, we go into this group policy management, we expand this forestcg.com, then we go into domains, then we click on cg.com, and then we go into domain controllers. Now over here we right click on default domain controller policy and click on edit. So this is the window this is the new window that appears. Now we go into computer configuration, we go into policies, we go into Windows setting, and now we click on security settings. Now over here we can see many of options that have been that has come in front of us. Over here we need to select the second option. Remember to select the local policies option. Over here we go into user right assignment, and over here we can see the option allow log on locally. Over here we click on we double click on it, and over here we see that these are the users that are uh, allowed to log on locally on this server machine. Over here we click on add user or group, we search for the user, we click on browse, we search the user that we created, that is Pratyush, and we check for the names. As I can see again that Pratyush at the cg.com has appeared. That means that this user is present on this CG domain. We click on OK and we click over here OK. Okay, this is done. Now over here we can see that CG Pratyush has been added. We click OK from here, and so the user has been added, and this user has been given the permission to log on to these server machines. Now the user is not only able to log on to client machines but also on the server machine, but only for the sake of managing groups. He can only manage, create and alter groups, but he cannot do anything else on this server machine. Okay, now so we close this window, we close this also, and we now go into command prompt. Now the process that we did takes some time to get updated. To instantly update it, we put the command gp update and hit enter. I'm so sorry, gp update. Now this is updating the policy. We will wait for some time and it will give us the message that the operation is successful or the computer policy has been updated successfully. Now let us just log off. Let us just sign out and then sign in as the local user that we created. I click on other user and I enter the credentials I just now used, that is CG / the username that we entered. In my case it is Pratyush. I hit tab and go to password and I hit enter. Okay, I'm so sorry, CG / Pratyush, set the password and hit enter. Now this would take some time, and now we are seeing that we have logged in as the user that we created. As we can see that we have logged in via the user on the server machine, right? So in order to now verify this, we need to go into server manager window. I'm having the credentials of managing the user, so I'll enter that credentials. I'll hit the password and I'll hit enter. Okay, so as we can see here that now this user Pratyush is able to access the server system, but he can only change and create and manage the groups. So in order to verify that, we go into tools, we go into Active Directory user and groups, we expand this CG and we now click on user. So these are the users that is present in the entire domain. Now I click on new, I click on as I can see here that I only get the option of group. In the administrative or in the administrator part, we got many options, computer, user, groups and whatnot. I'll show you later. But over here, when we had assigned delegate control to this user only for managing and assign and altering groups, so I get only the option of group. Now I click on this, I add any group, say suppose family, and I click on OK. So this is the group that has been added. Now for the sake of your reference, I'll show you what kind of options are available for the server, for the administrator in this user options. As you can see here that for this Pratyush user, the user that we created right now, we only got the option to create and manage new groups. only groups. As you can see here, I right click on this, I go into new and I can see only group. Now let us see what are the options that are present for the administrator. I click on other user. Now I enter the administrator credentials. Administrator. I set the password and I hit enter. I'm so sorry. Okay. So yeah, so this is the administrator. Now we have logged in via the administrator account. So I'll just go into tools. I'll again go into Active Directory. I'm so sorry. I'll go into Active Directory users and computers. And over here, I right click on users and go into new and I see these many options. Over to the user that we created and assigned the delegation control only for creating and altering groups. So we got the option groups. But since I have logged in now as administrator, I'm getting the options of computer, contact, enter org person and whatnot. So this is the basic difference, and this is how we delegate control and assign the task that we want to assign to that particular user for controlling the server machine. So with that, I would like to conclude this video. And if you have any queries, feel free to write down the comments, ask me in the comments down below.